head to Milwaukee, where the Bucks were booed at halftime after falling behind by 31 to the Wolves without Rudy or Ant. After the break, Giannis gets an and one to fall, and then is on the ground and starts booing his own fans. This is 6 days after he said he would never ask for a trade.
Yeah.
This seems like a pivot.
I think the root of this is that Giannis understandably feels like, I'm doing y'all a favor. Now, you can disagree with that, but I'm being loyal to you fans here in Milwaukee. I'm doing you a favor, and this is how you treat. I think that's really how he feels. I'm speculating, but that's my take on the matter. And look, at the end, and I think because he does it, and he said it, he does that on the road when he gets booed. He'll boo back at the fans after a big play. This is the first time he did it at home. Nick, this might be good if it sparks Giannis to go ahead and say, you know what, they're booing me. I asked for a trade. You hate that it happens this way if it does, because, and I think he still will, no matter how it is, have a statue out in front of that building. But if this is what it's going to take to drive him out of there, then fine. And it'll be good for Milwaukee too. They're a terrible team. They don't have a chance. So go ahead and ask for the trade and get somewhere where you can compete for championships.
They weren't booing Giannis. They're booing the team,
right? Which
is different. Maybe people might look at that as a distinction without a difference because he's on the team. But I think if I viewed them booing as disgust with the fact that a team with Giannis can be this bad.
Down
29 at halftime. And I don't know. Giannis has been in the public eye for, at this point, almost 15 years. The only thing close to a misstep was when he assaulted the ladder. And he
wanted to play more basketball.
And so I am as pro Giannis as anyone can be. I think this was a mistake, and I thought his explanation was poor. Again, I understand it's different markets and different sports. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions. Their fans have been booing them all year.
Oh, yeah.
If Jalen Hurts turned to the crowd and booed them, that's like, so I think this was I think it also shows that Giannis is nearing, I don't want to say a breaking point. That sounds more drastic, but he's frustrated.
I think that's fair.
Can be, and so I generally agree with you, Brew, that what would be best for both parties would be, mutual parting of ways. The problem is, I think it's going to be hard to find a team that can give up fair value for Giannis, that team is still a contender.
Houston is I think it should be Houston. San Antonio appears they should stand pat. Knicks, I don't know if they can get the draft picks with the third or fourth team in the deal. Houston's fallen to the 6th seed. Now, I know it's still jumbled, but they're the 6th seed. Shingun and a Reed Shepherd, whatever else to make it work financially. But I think for Milwaukee, that's not bad. And Giannis plays like Shingun.
You were that's right.
A better version, but handles the ball.
You were talking about a breaking point. This is the other video that was going miniature viral. A lot of people are speculating that Giannis is crying here. We don't know that. He might just be wiping sweat from his eyes. But
oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah, kicking around. One of the popular Twitter Bucks fans blog said, "We don't deserve this man. He should leave for his own good."
Well, look, he's clearly very loyal, and it may have really hurt him more than we think, Nick, to be booed by those fans. Because again, I do feel like he's saying, look, I'm staying here for, yes, the franchise, my teammates, whatever, the fans. I don't want to let them down, and to be booed, I mean, if that's what it looks like, then
I don't know. I would hope Giannis knows they are not booing Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're booing the 2026 Milwaukee Bucks. That you are the only. It is just a dog of a movie that has, a great DiCaprio performance in it, but that it's wasted in. And so If Giannis, I legitimately, I try to be prepared every day. I hadn't seen that video at all. I didn't know,
He
might just be wiping sweat.
Right, but no, I would have assumed he was wiping sweat, but the look on his face when he takes the towel away is something.
Whether he was tearing or not, he clearly was despondent.
And so, I mean, this is just a crummy situation.
You
all
all
around.
want him out of there,
I think it's
too,
time
right?
to go. It's
I
starting to
just
get
want
ugly.
him to play big games again.
Yeah, which
he
is
wants to
he's
too.
not going to happen there.
Bucks in San Antonio tomorrow night. Steelers looking for a new head coach after Tomlin leaves after 19 years. There's 9 current job openings. We ranked them all. Nick, you had the Steelers as the second best opening and the Browns as the worst. Greg, how do you view the Steelers job? Do you think it's a great job?
I don't know if it's a great job in terms of what you're going to have from a roster standpoint because of the fact that you won't have a quarterback right away. If we're looking at it from the lens of having an opportunity to create and establish what you want to do, your plan of attack, your vision, and having a runway to execute that vision, great job. I just believe the Steelers are in lockstep with a head coach who they believe in, who they feel like, okay, if we're going to invest in you, we're going to give you the time and the opportunity to create this plan and execute this plan. Mm-hmm. And we don't see that across the NFL any longer. You have a short leash, and it's like if you don't get it done because you typically do have the quarterback, when you go to a place like the Ravens, then it's like, because you had Lamar, I don't know if we can give you that much time. We already expect to win. With that being the case, the Steelers have a lot of draft capital. You've mentioned this several times on the show. With the personnel that they have on their current roster, with some of those older guys and the cap hits that they're going to be taking, they could retool some of that, and so you could get even more. I just think because the culture and the organization is run in such a great manner, this is a fantastic opportunity for most coaches.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, that's what you're looking for is stability. Can I be there the next 10, 15 years? And I even think, Greg, the fans, after so long a period of we're good.
This is correct.
We make the playoffs. We win 10 games. They've had that now for 10 years, whatever it is. They are ready. They will accept certainly one season, I believe, of we're 5-12. Maybe 2 seasons if they see things moving in the right direction. You're getting some good young players. So I think that helps the coach as well. And as long as I think they'll hire a solid guy. And if you're solid, and even if the record's poor, but you can see, you know what you're doing offensively, you know what you're doing defensively, you have control of the locker room and the players play for you, I think they'll give you a long leash, and that's what you want.
All right, I know you did your list already, so I'm going to flip the question for you. I know whoever this is going to have the job for however many years, but even on your list, they're the second best job.
Yeah.
So if I was the best candidate, you're the silver medalist.
Yeah.
Does any part of you feel like this is not the strongest coaching class? That there wasn't like Ben Johnson was like the belle of the ball, and next thing you know, the Bears are riding in the playoffs. Like, do you feel like the candidates that are out there are up to having the job for 15
Well, listen,
plus
Mike
years?
Tomlin wouldn't have been. Mike Tomlin was a very lightly known assistant. He had only been a coordinator for 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
An assistant in Minnesota.
Harbaugh,
Harbaugh was a special teams coordinator. Sean McVay spouted an entire tree. That was a shocking hire when it happened because he was, 32 years old.
young.
I think he was viewed as a savant type guy.
He was so young.
But he wasn't Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. It wasn't somebody that had been in the news year after year. I think Liam Cohen has done a great job. Liam Cohen was like a late stage in the coaching search hire, and he wasn't viewed as throughout the year like, oh, he's a surefire. So I don't know that there certainly isn't like you said Ben Johnson. What there definitely is not right now is a Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, except for the 2 guys who just got let go or left the Ravens and the Steelers.
Super Bowl?
The thing about McCarthy is, and I know his name keeps getting brought up, it's very rare for coaches to get 3 shots. It's a 2-shot
Well,
thing
he did
typically.
when you say shot, I mean, he produced in both places.
No, I know.
Yeah. So it's not like he failed. You know what I
No,
mean?
but it's just rare for coaches to have 3 different head coaching tenures for 3 different teams. I think that for the Steelers, Brew's point is such an important one as far as how good of a job is it. What do the fans expect? And how much pressure will fans put on ownership if things aren't going well? These fans in Pittsburgh, now maybe they'll rue the day, but yesterday was a celebratory day in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe to a degree that was disrespectful to Tomlin, but it's fine. Fans call and talk radio, do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. You know, friend of this show, Andrew Filipponi, had stirred him up for 5 years that Tomlin needed to go, and they treated yesterday like it was a big, relief. Because I think that if you were to poll Steeler fans, the 2026 Pittsburgh Steelers, would you rather be 9-8 or 3-14? I think 3-14 runs away with it. Obviously, what they'd want is 14-3 and try to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
But I think that they are sick of being stuck in the middle, and they do have an appetite of bottom out short term to build it back up into excellence. The question will be, do you have a coach that once you have a high ceiling can bring with him a high floor? Like, assuming you get the quarterback that allows you to have a high ceiling, that doesn't mean you're going to have a high floor. Mm-hmm. Like they don't have that in Cincinnati. They have the quarterback. They don't have a high floor there. And so that it's not as easy.
Greg, can I pitch you on something? We don't know who the person is going to be, and it seems like they have to be a great hire if they're going to have this stability. We've also talked about some of the challenges that college coaches would face making the leap to the NFL. Marcus Freeman, Cignetti's older, obviously, but seems to be the best coach in college football, arguably. Do you think that having a long runway with the Steelers would entice Marcus Freeman or Cignetti to make the jump?
Yeah, I think it would entice any coach because, again, this is not the norm. When you sign up, everybody has hopes of having a long tenure with whatever team that they sign the contract with. But this is almost, and I don't want to make it seem like it's a guaranteed thing, because of course it's not, but more so than anywhere else, this is almost a guarantee. They're going to allow you a runway. So I don't know, even if Marcus Freeman, the Steelers have been known, because of what you mentioned with Mike Tomlin being a one-year guy, not being in-house, not being the guy that they, even Willie Colon spoke to it yesterday, that they felt, even in the locker room, was a Steeler guy. He was just a guy, young. I think they're going to go to a young guy that has a mind, a vision, a way of doing things that they can get behind and allow him to go.
I'm going to throw a name out there that wasn't mentioned yesterday, and I'm going to mispronounce his last name. But the kid, he's very young in Los Angeles, Nathan Scheelhaase. It's Scheel and then Hasse. I don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize. It just reminds me of an offensive Tomlin. Kind of like the first year with a big job, in his early 30s, considered incredibly sharp. And I do think while the Steelers have always been, I say always, it's 3 hires, but they've had 3 defensive guys. I wonder if they feel like we like the model of like young, can grow, all of it. But if our big problem at this point has been we need to find and develop a quarterback, having an offensive mind that can grow with the quarterback is a good idea. So Flores is interesting. He's the defensive side of the ball. Jesse Minter with the Chargers is young and interesting. He's defensive side of the ball. So I wonder if that's a name to look at with the Steelers.
Okay. Speaking of college football, Dante Moore staying at Oregon. Had a rough game against Indiana, but was projected to be the number 2 pick. The Jets are in need of a quarterback, and there is some discussion that perhaps he's purposely avoiding the Jets. Nick, do you think the Jets having a high pick affected Dante's decision, or should it have?
Here's what I think. That what's a good example of a franchise everyone respects that just doesn't have a quarterback? So I should have thought of this earlier.
The Steelers again?
Pittsburgh. I mean,
Okay, sure, great. Yeah, I didn't want to use them as example. If Pittsburgh had the number 2 pick, or
the Giants.
Giants maybe, it feels a little
And they
more
have
stability,
talent, yeah.
right? If a team such as that had the number 2 pick, I think he'd be in the draft. And I also want to make this clear. I don't think it's a mistake for him to be like, I'll go spend another year at Oregon, make $4 or $5 million bucks,
Yeah.
Right.
and avoid a franchise that is probably the number 31 or number 32 draft pick in the NFL for quarterback development. Like, I don't blame him for that. Like, I don't view him as such a can't miss. Like, wherever I go,
absolutely.
I will make it work. I think it's probably needs right fit, right system, all of it. And I don't blame him for not wanting to go to the New York Jets, if that's the case.
Yeah, look, I have no idea if that is the case with the Jets, but when Joe Burrow was coming out and everybody was saying, man, avoid the Bengals, don't go to the Bengals, I was saying, if you're that guy, go somewhere and make it happen, which he obviously did. He also was from Ohio, not far from Cincinnati. I can't blame, if that is what Dante Moore is thinking, we have so much evidence now. Robert Saleh is one of the top coaching names on the market, even though he lost tremendously with the Jets. Everybody's saying it was them, not him. All right? Sam Darnold, you and others have him as the best. They're the best team in the league. If Sam Darnold somehow wins this Super Bowl, that is a terrible look for the Jets because they got what we're talking about with Pittsburgh. Bottom out, get a top pick, get your quarterback. They apparently, if Darnold goes on to do that, they had him and didn't know what to do with him, you know? And Garrett Wilson, I mean, is great, but he's kind of languishing in almost anonymity because the organization's so bad. And Rodgers, the numbers are similar. You could say Rodgers, though. I mean, it ended really badly for him there. And then he goes to the Steelers, and they at least make the playoffs, and he plays fairly well. So I can't blame the kid if that is the reason.
Like, and we're talking about a young man that it's him. There is no quarterback competition in this year's draft.
Right, because we know Mendoza's won.
Yeah, it's like, it's him. So to go back to school knowing, okay, I got to go through an entire season, not get injured, to kind of guarantee that, and play well, to kind of guarantee that I can still be in this position at the end of another complete season, that's, I mean, if you're the Jets, you've got to change something. Because if players are dodging you, and I'll add this, NIL has changed everything too.
Yes.
Because the fact that he's gonna make money, like, it's changed everything as well. I will say this, having watched him this year in the Big Ten, and he's played Indiana twice, not played a bunch of stiff competition, and their personnel offensively has typically been a little bit better than everybody that they've played. He definitely does need to sharpen up his arsenal and his toolkit. So it can benefit him as well, but the Jets definitely has a role in this.
Because usually if you're that high, number
I'm
two,
gone.
right?
I'm gone.
What am I waiting for?
I also think Oregon has taken a step every year under Dan Lanning. You know, I like that. And each year, their final loss is a brutal one. Like, they get just clocked, but it's a step.
Might be by the champs.
Right. It's a step closer. This now, in my opinion, should make Oregon the favorites for next season.
Wow.
I mean, Indiana's going to lose their quarterback. I understand that Arch in Texas people are going to really believe in, and Arch should be better next year. But Oregon, getting him back with that team, and it should feel like the progression for Dan Lanning and the Ducks is next year we play for I guess the progression would be we get to the national title game, we get blown out in that one. And then the year after is when we win it. But we're one step closer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.